everybody, it's Holly here today for MarkerPop, and today we're going to be creating this card using some products from Avery Elle. We're going to be using the Pegasus Duo set along with the Pierced Banners Layers die. I'm going to start out using the watercolor stripes background from My Favorite Things, and I'm using the large Misty, and I took that black foam piece out because I'm using a rubber stamp here. So you don't want that extra height that black rubber piece gives you, so you want to take that out when you're using a rubber back stamp. And I'm using some Lawn Fawn Peacock ink, and I'm just inking that up twice to make sure I get some good coverage. And I'm stamping this on some Nina Solar White cardstock. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a piece of Express It blending cardstock. And here I'm using the Mini Misty, and I'm just putting the images into the Mini Misty. And I'm going to be using the Lawn Fawn Jet Black ink because it's Copic friendly to stamp the images. And I'm just going to stamp all the images twice to make sure I get a nice thick outline. And then I'm going to go ahead and clean up some of the stamps and then restamp the cloud 3 times so I have 3 clouds. And then once I have all my images stamped, I'm going to go ahead and set that aside for just a few minutes. This cardstock is kind of smooth, so I like to let the ink sit for just a few minutes before I go in with my markers. Then while that's sitting aside, I'm going to go ahead and take the Pierced Banners layer die. And I'm going to go ahead and die cut a banner from some Nina Solar White. And then I'm going to stamp the image, or not the image, the sentiment into the curve shape of the banner. The easiest way to do this is flip the die backwards over and then lay a clear block on it, and then take your sentiment and you just kind of bend and twist it into the shape of the banner, and then when you ink it up and stamp it down, it should flow right along with the shape of the banner. And this works for any banner dies as well. If you don't want to lay your clear block over top of the banner or the die in case you were to scratch it, you could always cut an extra shape, flip that over, and lay your block on that as well, because I know some of the acrylic blocks can scratch easily. So then I'm going to go ahead and start coloring my image in with my Copics. And I'll go ahead and put the color names up on the screen for you. And then I'm going to go ahead and play some music while I color, and then I'll be back to finish the card. Now that my images are all colored in, I'm going to go ahead and die cut those using the coordinating dies and my Big Shot. And then I'm going to go ahead and start on the background, and I'm going to take the Blueprints 15 from My Favorite Things, and I'm going to use the outside rectangle, and then I'm going to also use the inside out stitch circle stacks, and I'm going to put both those over my background piece and adhere them down with some Scotch tape, and then I'm going to go ahead and run those through my Big Shot. And this is going to cut out the outside edge and the circle frame all at the same time. Then I'm going to go ahead and add some foam tape to the back of the piece with the watercolor stripes to give it a little bit of height. And then I'm going to adhere that to a standard A2 size card base made from some Neenah Solar White cardstock, and this is top folding. When I do cards with windows, I like to give height to the window so that everything is kind of recessed in. When you put images inside the circle. This is also a great way to make shaker cards. You could make this a shaker card as well by putting some acetate on it. So then I'm going to go ahead and adhere the banner to the bottom half of the circle, just with a thin piece of foam tape as well. Then once I have the banner put on where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and start adding in my images. And I'm going to be using a combination of some of the Scotch foam tape and then just some adhesive tape runner to put some of the images down flat onto the open circle part in the window there. So I want some of the images to stick out, puff up, or be raised, and then I want some of the images to be flat against the back, just to create different heights of dimension. And then once I have those in there, I'm going to go ahead and add the little stars using my craft stick. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some Pretty Pink Posh sparkling clear sequins, just a couple of those for some sparkle. And then I'm also going to go over my images with the Spectrum Noir sparkle pen in the clear. I'm going to add that to the unicorn's hair and the little stars just to give a little bit of sparkle. And that pretty much completes my card for today, so I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you again in a couple weeks with a new video. Have a great rest of the weekend, and I will see you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.